Hello guys, and welcome back to another podcast from us at TalkSFC. We've got a little bit of an unorthodox topic to talk about today, and it's regarding Eric Black. Now, I'm obviously joined by Kristian, my co-host.
Hello everyone.
And we're going to be sort of delving deeper into just what's gone on with Eric Black and what position he now holds at the club. So, on Thursday evening, the Telegraph continued their decent journalistic form in revealing names that are involved in a new football for sale scandal, and the latest name, Eric Black. So, Black was filmed allegedly giving advice to undercover reporters actually set up from the Telegraph as to how lower league staff members could be bribed. So, after first impressions, Saints fans, myself included, had hoped that the discussions with the undercover journalists had taken place whilst Black was currently enduring his tenure with Aston Villa. However, the Telegraph did state in the article that the video and the meeting was held when he was employed by Saints. It was on the 2nd of September in the New Forest. So that doesn't really bode well. It means that since he's been at the club, he has been doing some dodgy business out, and he's been, in all honesty, he's been showing some signs of unprofessionalism, and that's just not really what Southampton as a club are built upon, and that's not the values. Now, it's a little bit of a difficult situation surrounding Black, because he was brought in to sort of be the link between new boss Claude Puel and the players, and this was largely down to the fact that Eric Black, being Scottish-born, can speak English obviously very well. It's the primary language, and that's just what you expect. But also down to the fact that he can actually speak fluent French. I think this was really the main reason for Saints to employ him as the assistant manager, to help Puel liaise with the players in a more efficient fashion. I mean, obviously it's not ideal, and Puel's English has come on a hell of a lot since the moment he walked through the door. But I think Black was brought in to be the link. However, this new revelation and the allegations made against Black, they're going to bring different perceptions of him. You know, what are the players going to think when they look into things and they see that their assistant manager, someone who's meant to have an authoritative sort of presence amongst the squad, someone to look up to for the younger players, to gain experience from them, to gain knowledge from them. What are they now going to think of Black because of how he's acted in this unprofessional manner? Now, is there any trust anymore in Black? What do you think, Kristian?
Obviously, it'll be a difficult decision for the club because they've witnessed the FA and Sam Allardyce part ways, and then Barnsley also relieved their assistant manager of his duties. But the whole club will be aware of the scandal, and Puel will obviously be wanting to know exactly what has happened, as do I and as do all the fans. But as long as the club enforce the correct decision, I'd say that all the players will have to deal with it. And I can't help but feel that there will be some unrest within the camp and within the dressing room, but they won't be wanting to turn their attention too far off of the pitch, especially during such a busy spell and following some great form that we've seen of late.
Yeah, I think obviously the day-to-day sort of procedures on the training ground, they could be quite deeply affected because an assistant manager can play quite a big role at a club. But I think the problems seem to. I think the main problem here is for the board. It's going to be a difficult decision for the board because Ralph Kruger, just a couple of days ago, and this was after the emergence of the Sam Allardyce stuff. This is with no knowledge of the Eric Black allegations or anything. He came out and said this: Southampton is built on a completely honest and open culture and on values. The reason I took the job was the unbelievable structure and foundation of our owner Katarina Lieber. That's why I embraced this. It was to be able to lead and be the de facto owner of an organisation where it was driven by culture, so we're extremely upset by this. Now, if he's upset by something that has no relation to Saints whatsoever in the form of Sam Allardyce, I know he's come out and said basically it's Black's problem and not Saints's. he won't be comfortable with it. He won't be comfortable with the fact that Black has gone out and done this because it's unprofessional. At the end of the day, right? Perhaps he's not said anything too revealing and too far over the line, but to even welcome a question and to welcome a meeting with what were, I assume, what he perceived to be businessmen. I just think that the activity in itself shows a lot of unprofessionalism and a lot of disrespect. I just don't get it. He's an assistant manager at a stable Premiership club who are boasting Europa League football. He's just come from Aston Villa, who were a club in turmoil. They've just gone down to the Championship. He's had a horrible time. Their fans don't like him. He's come here. We've not exactly made him feel welcome, but I think that's because the appointment was just sort of, wasn't really one to be excited about. It was only an assistant manager, but we thought, okay, we'll give him a chance. It's not bad. Why did he feel the need to discuss all of this? Why did he feel the need to get involved with people that surely no good would have come from? I just don't get it. Now, it poses a lot of different questions now. So how crucial is Black to Saints? What do you reckon?
My gut instinct would be that he wouldn't be a great loss to the team and the squad overall, because all that he offers, which we couldn't get elsewhere, would be his French, that he could communicate with the players and Puel, and get Puel's ideology and points across to the squad, which perhaps someone we bring in might not be able to do. But as you said earlier, Puel's English has come on leaps and bounds since he entered the club.
Yeah.
And I'd say if we lost Eric Black, we could easily get in just as good of an assistant manager, if not better, even if they do not have the ability to speak the French, because I don't feel like it is hugely necessary. I mean, we've got players in the squad who can speak French. It will give them high authority in the team, and maybe it can encourage a few of them to get involved. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Hearing the likes of Charlie Austin talking a bit of French. Now, I think that, in all honesty, I don't really see his role as all that important to the club. As you've alluded to, everyone has their part to play at Southampton, and he's been brought in for a reason, and I think that was the main reason, just to liaise with the players, just to break down that language barrier. But Claude Puel, he won't get any worse with his English. He's had what now? 4 months, 3 or 4 months at the club, and his English has just gone from strength to strength. This is positive, and the players have clearly taken to him. The players are clearly they understand him. They understand what he wants. They understand his philosophy, his ethos, and it's showing on the pitch. We look really good at the moment. And you can't honestly tell me that's single-handedly because of Eric Black. Because given the fact that in his last few caretaker jobs at the likes of Aston Villa and Sunderland, he's been pretty appalling. Now, it sort of all boils down to the question, what do the club do? They've released a couple of statements and a couple of little updates just to basically say that they are working closely with the FA and the Premier League to sort of, in a way, come to a definitive outcome and to see just what Black has done wrong and whether he needs to be relieved of his duties or not. So, as I said, the question comes down to, would you sack him or not? For me, I don't really see any way for him to continue. I appreciate that in the grand scheme of things, what he said shouldn't really have too much of a bearing on the squad, but it's just that lack of professionalism that's bugging me. There's no need to do it. I just think that the bridges have been burned, and you can see, even from our fans on Twitter and everything, they've already turned on him. So many people want him out of the club now. Want him out of the club after this revelation. And I've got to say, I'm with them. I don't really want figures like that. I just think there's been a lack of respect shown to the club. We've given him a good opportunity. And, okay, yeah, I know he didn't say anything out of line about us. He didn't even mention us. We're irrelevant in this, exactly as Ralph Kruger said. But at the end of the day, it's a lack of respect to us because football, we know it's a business. We know football's a business. But to go out and talk about bribes and to talk to what he perceived even then to be undercover businessmen, it's just out of line. I just don't feel as though he's a trustworthy character at the club anymore. I don't feel any kind of respect to him, and I'd imagine some of the players feel the same. So, Kristian, to wrap it up, definitive answer, yes or no, should Eric Black be sacked?
In my opinion, he's got to go.
There we go. There we go. That's it. Right, so our verdict on the whole situation is that Black for the sack. Now, that'll be it for today, guys. That is the podcast done. So let us know what you think about the whole Eric Black scenario. Let us know if you think he should be sacked. Tweet us at TalkSFC. Tweet us at our personal accounts. We really hope you enjoyed the podcast. And until next time.
Up the Saints.